Hi guys! So I decided I was going to make a video on colic just so I could kind of reach out to the other moms out there who might be going through the same thing that I went through. Since I am kind of documenting the life of my baby Cohen, I thought I would talk about colic because he was colicky for the first 3 months of his life, so it was pretty much impossible to talk about anything other than the fact that he was kind of a very cranky baby. So I am also doing this video in my bathroom because it's the evening here and we don't have ceiling lights in our apartment, we just have lamps. So it's not very bright in any of the bedrooms, as funny as that sounds. So I'm sitting in my bathroom on the toilet right now. So hope you guys like this information and hopefully it will help a lot of you guys out. And if you have any questions, some things that I might not have covered during this video, feel free to ask them in the comments down below, and I'll also post a link to my form spring. Feel free to ask anything, it's all anonymous there, so even if you think you've got kind of a dumb question, because I know I had a lot of dumb questions, nothing is stupid, just ask away and I will answer at the best of my knowledge. So colic is defined as unconsolable crying for 3 hours or more a day, 3 times a week for 3 weeks straight. So they usually don't diagnose colic until a baby is 3 weeks old, but my son was diagnosed in the hospital with it. The nurses didn't know what was up with him. He just basically cried constantly from the moment he woke up until he actually fell asleep. Colic, there's no cure for it. They say gas drops and things like that will help, but it's something inside of them that makes them want to cry, and there's not really anything you can do. I did find that gas drops like Oval helped, just because colic is a lot to do with gas inside of their stomach that they can't work out, and then they get so frustrated they get themselves worked up into a fit that they can't get out of. So gas drops do work, but they only work for 10 minutes at the most. Gripe water I found did nothing, absolutely nothing for my son. Maybe when he gets the hiccups I give him some. I mean, I don't even use it because I don't find it helps. I really don't believe in just letting a baby cry it out, even though my son cried constantly. It's just that, just like their well-being, you need to take care of yourself. So if you do find that you're having, you're going to pull your hair out because you're holding your baby and he hasn't stopped crying in 5 hours, then put your baby in their crib and just walk away. You can turn on a mobile. It's stressful because they are still crying, but you do get to have a little break for yourself, get something to eat, or just sit on the couch, something like that. Don't leave your baby for more than 10 or 15 minutes. That's just my personal opinion. I just don't think it's good for a baby to be all by itself crying. Even if there isn't anything you can do, it's good for them to know that you're there and you're going to help them and soothe them to the best that you can. I know as a first-time mom, I read all the books, I was on all the websites, I followed YouTubes. I was so excited to have my son come into my life, and I really didn't know too much about colic, so it was a really big shock to me when I realized my son had this and I know nothing about it. So if you're watching this and you're pregnant, I suggest you just do a little bit of research on it, just to kind of understand what it is, because you never know if your baby's going to be born with it. It can happen to anybody, and unlike me, I learned so much for everything else, baby care, what to expect, stuff like that. I knew nothing about colic until he was born, and it was really stressful for me because I didn't know what to do. I thought I was doing something wrong. It was really hard to cope with. I remember my doctor telling me when he was about 2 weeks old, don't worry, it ends around 3-4 months. He'll be okay, he'll stop. I didn't think I was going to make it to 3 or 4 months. I thought, there's no way I'm going to last, but he's now 4 months old. Tomorrow he'll be 4 months. And he's doing really well. He's very happy. He still gets fussy, and there's nothing you can really do about that, but he does not scream for no reason. When he wants something, if there's something wrong, a wet diaper, if he's hungry, something like that, then he will cry, but not for no reason at all. If you do suspect that your baby has colic, make sure you bring it up with your doctor because they could have a lactose allergy. I switched my son to lactose-free formula when he was about a month old, and he did really, really well. I found it reduced colic a lot, not because he was allergic to lactose, but I think it was gentler on his stomach. So you could talk to your doctor about that, certainly. But once he was 3 months, we had to switch him to regular milk formula because he was getting really constipated. So just keep following up with your doctor. And if your baby is spitting up a lot, especially like after every burp, a lot of spit up, make sure you talk to your doctor about that because they could have reflux, and that's a whole other, I'm not going to say disease, but it's another issue that you have to deal with. You might have to switch to a thicker formula. So definitely don't go in this alone and try to diagnose it yourself. You have to talk to your doctor because there could be an underlying issue that you're not really seeing. Every baby cries, so a lot of people wonder, does my baby have colic? You'll know. You'll definitely know. Every baby cries a lot. It's just when they cry, especially in the evenings. Usually from, 3 or 4 p.m. in the evening, that's when they'll start. Usually the mornings are okay, but not all the time. I know Cohen was pretty bad all day, every day. So it's constant. There's no soothing. You've tried changing diapers, feeding, burping, bouncing, nothing. So you'll definitely know. I've got a couple clips of my son when he was younger, and I'm really glad I took them now. I felt kind of bad because he was crying, but I figured, you know what, I'm going to want to look back on this and say, thank God I made it through this. I knew I could, and so will you guys. I know it's really tough on a mother and a father. You just have to learn to take turns and give yourself a break once in a while. And don't be afraid to let a family member or a very close friend to watch your baby just for even a half an hour so that you can have some alone time for yourself and you can kind of come back to where you need to be without over-stressing and overwhelming yourself. You just have to take it one day at a time, and remember, it's only 3 or 4 months. Babies become happy, they start moving and smiling and giggling, and guaranteed when that all starts with your baby, you're going to forget all about how awful it truly was for the first couple of months. So I tried to make this video just kind of as quick as I could with answering as much as I could. I don't want to go in full detail about everything because there's just so much that I could talk about, but I'm not going to. But if you have any questions, it's still very fresh in my mind. He's only stopped being colic for a month now, so just ask away. Don't be afraid, and I will definitely help find an answer if I don't know it. And if you are having troubles, don't feel afraid to talk to people or go on forums and do your research because you never know.